Hello and welcome everyone to day 5 of Blue Talk's Amplify Your Message. I am your host, Laura Lake, and this is Blue Talks, which Blue, for those who don't know, stands for business, life, and the universe. I know it's backwards, but this doesn't work. But since we're here celebrating speakers, authors, podcasters, look, oh my God, that's me. I'm so excited. That's my very first book, all because of Blue Talk. So we are here for you, those people who are aspiring to be speakers, aspiring to be writers, aspiring to be on podcasts, or even create your own. Or maybe you've already started. So we're celebrating you. We're trying to help you get to know people, learn how to amplify your message, and apparently burp a few times before we even start the show. But for those who've never met me, my name is Laura Lake. I am the host of Blue Talk's Amplify Your Message. And what I stand for is courageous connection. Now, in business, what we like to talk about is getting people to know us, like us, and trust us. But how does that feel when I go, get to know me, get to like me, get to trust me? Me. That doesn't feel very good, does it? So when we're sharing our stories, I try to help people understand that that's not our job. It starts from the inside out, and it starts with that old version of us that went through that struggle, hence Mess to Message Entrepreneurs. And now we're sharing that message with other people with everything that we've learned. So getting to know, like, and trust them, and then inside out. So that's what I stand for. And you'll see that kind of blended in with all my questions as we talk about emotion and mental health throughout the day. Dr. Angeline, can you tell us, as my co-host, my lovely, lovely co-host, a little bit about you so that we know where you are coming from with your questions today?
Absolutely, Laura. First of all, thank you for the invitation. I was like, what? Absolutely, I'll be here with Laura. And special shout out to Blue Talks and Corey and the gang. So I'm super excited to be here today. I am Dr. Angeline Dean. I'm an unapologetic systems disruptor. And I'm super excited, Laura, because I am about to launch. Then the last time we talked a little bit about some work I was doing with some of the youth around a project or pilot project called Melanated Neurons. And so I am so super excited because I am about to launch Unboxing History, unboxing culture, and unboxing power. And so I am launching this upcoming week, a box subscription where, as we see that history and certain people's history right now in the United States is under attack. How do I help young people ages 7 through 12 get in contact and never forget their history, right? Because Black history isn't Black history, it is American history. And so we're going to be launching Melanated Neurons Communiverse, because they're going to have their own communiverse and their own be up under a communiversity. So I'm super excited.
I love the word.
That's my latest. Yeah. So that's who I am right now in this stage. Yes.
And it's Angeline, not Angeline.
Correct.
Okay, so I was like, you could have corrected me, but you didn't. So I'm going to try to remember. And if I forget, you correct me.
Okay,
thank you so much.
Right. Absolutely.
I want to make sure that you are named the way that you want to be named. So we do have our first guest behind the scenes. Dr. Gary, just give me a thumbs up if you're ready to join us. Awesome. Welcome to the stage. So now I want to call you like Mr. Rainbow. Can you hear us, Dr. Gary?
I hear you now.
You do. Okay, good. So I'm going to start off our interview by shifting things around, flipping things on its head, and asking you my big opener question. It's just meant to think. There's no right or wrong answer. It's all good. So, Dr. Gary, if you could have other people describe you in 3 words, what would you love those 3 words to be?
Inspiring, playful, transformational.
Playful, transformational. Okay, so then the only other question is, how do these 3 words, inspiring, playful, and transformational. How do they play a key role in the core message that you have for people?
It's very similar to what I heard you just speaking about pre-show, Laura. That is, it's an inside job. By practicing each day, I live on the top of a mountain in a permaculture community, 550 meters above sea level, with waterfalls and creeks and streams and kangaroos all around. When I practice these three key words, nurturing, inspiring, empowering each day, which is another version of what you asked me, I get into the zone. When I get into the zone, that's when my intuition knows no tomorrow. It sings and flings with wings without me having to think about things.
Ah. I like that you said your intuition knows no tomorrow. I never even thought about that before. Where did that come from?
I don't know. It just came out.
You're like, all the magic that is in my brain.
When I get into the zone, words waft whimsically without worrying why. I like playing with words. I love being acrobatic. All my life I've been a champion, springboard diver, gymnast, track star. So now I'll be 74 in a couple of months. That my body is not doing what the body could do years and decades ago. I love doing this with words, turning words into rhyme, turning rhyme into rhythm, and bring people to places they've never been able to go before with their body as the chief instrument of communication. That's my message.
So now you're doing gymnastics with your energy and your words.
Exactly. Yeah, that's right. It's a bit more subtle. I mean, I'm still doing acrobatics, swimming in waterfalls, sounding, yet I'm not leaping off high places and puncturing eardrums and slicing parts of my body. It's a bit more advanced. So the inner tonality specifically of ye, I, oh, those gestures, those sounds have meaning. One of my key messages when I do the presentation coaching, whether it's showing how to navigate the online stage or the actual physical platform, these tonalities have to do with honoring spaciousness, uplift, empowerment, grounding. So every movement, every verbal word matches every visual gesture, every vocal sound. Visual, vocal, verbal. That's one of the key messages of my teaching. When they're aligned, VVV, then everything literally makes more sense.
Okay, I just want to recap that to make sure that I got the words right. Visual, vocal, and verbal?
Correct. Yeah.
So how do vocal, like, what's the difference between vocal and verbal?
Yeah, okay. So verbal are the words that we see on the screen, the names of who we see ourselves in our titles. It's the wording. The vocal is the sound in the voice, the use of pause, the way that the amplitude goes up and down, going up for questioning, going down for emphasis. And visual is you seeing me showing what I'm telling. When I put all three together, the most ordinary of communications can be the most magnificent moment for someone. Listening, seeing, feeling, experiencing the speaker coming alive, the message coming alive, the body making pictures, showing the telling so the telling becomes compelling, welling, and swelling. Not necessarily in that order.
Okay. So is that why you mentioned that you were, what was the word that you used? You didn't say watching. I think you said observing me right before we went on the show.
Yeah. Watching, observing, witnessing. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah. That's right. When we get into the zone as a speaker, as a presenter, anyone who has a message, one of my key messages to assist fellow presenters, performers, speakers, share your voice, your message, your
Mhm.
wisdom with the world as you dream possible. When we have that as a focus, then so much more can happen than just delivering information. It becomes an engaging opportunity for intimacy and into we see to play with the elements that most people take so freaking seriously. And oh my God, if we can do it with lightness, it's much easier to remember. That's one of my key points, that there is a velocity to ridiculosity. So getting out of, I won't call it the comfort zone because it's not really a comfort zone, the familiar zone into
Yep.
one that has never been explored before. Suddenly one's vulnerability becomes one's strength. Suddenly one's imperfection becomes one's perfection. So instead of looking good, it's allowing all of the warts, the mistakes, the falling down, the breaking up, the sitting up, the breakdown, the breakthrough to show. And that is riveting. That's why I love to model that and share that, we all are that way before we start putting on layers and masks, like you mentioned earlier.
Hmm. It sounds like you were listening to almost every interview that we have done this week because it kept coming up so many times about teachers and how they can influence you and when we were kids. And the first thing that I was thinking when you were talking about tonality and melody and vocal and verbal was how many times have we had that teacher who was monotone and we're all sitting there going, ugh, it's so hard to learn from you. Or when we're learning to read as kids and you're learning, okay? So you're learning. And you have the one kid who is in it and they are playing with it and they're having fun like the character, and then the other kids who are just trying to get through the words.
It's so true. I remember when I was in Johns Hopkins University, a combined pre-med and psychology major, and I was in a sexuality class, which was scientific sexuality. It wasn't anything physical at all. And this was so bizarre, like yourself, I had this ability. So when I saw the person talk about chromosomes, this and that, two things happened. One, when I moved my body to make shapes while they were speaking, it's good I was in the back row because I wasn't trying to make fun. It made more sense. I was multi-sensorizing their verbal,
Mhm.
vocal, visual information. So
Yeah.
it made more sense in my senses. And then by perceiving them, what I remembered about the biology, the sexuality class, wasn't about chromosomes. It was about their relationship with their mother, their voice tone, who they were upset with, the conversations that were in their brain. My whole work is to transform the old self-talk over here to one that is riveting. I am inspiring, I am playful, I am transformational, but it's not enough to say the words with sounds, to do it with gestures that match. Now we have a fascinating speaker to listen to, and you don't forget the points.
Yep.
You remember it.
So I was teaching a class last month, and okay, so one of the things that I do to help me understand my own emotions is power vocals. Because when I was a kid, I didn't have habits, but I just needed to get the emotion out. So I would sing songs with that same emotion. I didn't know what I was doing at the time. But you're helping explain with what you were saying earlier about the tones and all the noises and the vibrations within our body to help kinesthetically learn what is going on. And you would have made it so much easier to write that talk than for
Well,
me to have to figure out what was going on and then try to teach what was going on to other people.
Well, exactly. When I do the presentation coaching, which a lot of it's on stage these days, either the online stage or in front of audiences, some one-on-one sessions as well. One of
Mhm.
the key things that I do is exactly that. Have you take your gestures and exaggerate them or do the opposite and feel what is in that space in between where there's a feeling of a nuance of nuance that you couldn't prepare. But when you can, let's say, for example, using the same words, inspiring, playful, transformational, if that were someone's 3 key words, because I always encourage speakers to find 3 key words, then let's play with it. Let's gibberish it. I'm William. I didn't use words, but you got what I was saying because I've been repeating it over and over in different ways. So my way of helping a speaker speak is do it in nonsense, do it in reverse, do it in singing, and then speak it. And you're so much freer because you've got out of you have to present certain words. It just breaks people up to be laughing at their most extreme, wild, ridiculous, stiff, stubborn story. I had to turn it into this ridiculous Monty Python ritual. It takes about 5 seconds for them to let go. It's too silly. I can't do that. And then suddenly the sincerity comes out.
Oh, maybe that's what we should get everybody to do is like the silly walk, but with their vocals.
Absolutely. Yeah. Get it out of your system. And then what's left is the true essence. That's right. With freedom instead of self-consciousness to fully express, whether it's silly walks, silly talks. It's not just silly, but there's silly. There's doing it in mime with no sound. There's singing it. I'm inspiring, I'm playful, I'm transformational. That each one has a nuance, something that is fresh. That then when the speaker speaks from that zone, the whole presentation has so much freedom, fluidity. Say these words after me. The more I trust.
The more I trust.
What I deeply know.
But I deeply know.
The more my thoughts.
The more my thoughts.
My words.
My words.
And my actions.
And my
actions.
Fully, freely flow.
Fully,
freely flow.
Hip, hip, hurrah!
Hip, hip, hurrah!
Row, row, row. Your life is what we deem. So, make it into something silly. You're not going to forget that now. Now it's cemented in the muscle memory.
So this is fascinating for me, Dr. Gary, because I just the last 2 days was on watching another event on how the body keeps score and how we keep everything internally. And so when you first started talking, that was the word that came to me, freedom. And then when you said masking, like a lot of my work is unmasking as well. And so I was thinking of this not only from how fascinating it could be used in the arts, right, as a part of learning for young students in the arts, but also when you talked about the multisensory learning and do you use this with trauma patients and healing?
I use it all the time. If we can turn something into a new story, there's something absolutely elegant and indelible that happens. So one example is there's a man I was coaching on stage. He happened to be a 5 rhythms movement expression dance teacher from New York City. I met him in Hawaii at a one dance tribe week of dance and movement specialists. I was one of the people invited. He was in my workshop, and during the break, he told me that he gets, I was exaggerating his lines. He sometimes stutters or forgets what he's going to say. So there he is in front of everyone in my class from all over the world, all these dance specialists all over the world. And he confesses what his trauma was about. He said, look, I was brought up in New York City, and so was I. And I was bullied, he said, all throughout my adolescence, so much so, and this is what happened to him. Again, I'm going to exaggerate it. When I stand in front of people, I feel like I'm going to be attacked. And he started crying, waterfall of tears. Out comes the trauma, because he was honoring it. He was admitting it. He wasn't hiding behind it. He wasn't trying to look good. He was saying what it was that held him back. And one after another, one person from the audience came up, hugged him, told him in front of witnesses, you are the kind of teacher that I would trust working with, because you're sharing your vulnerability, you're sharing where you've broken down. You're the person that I want to learn dance movements with, and to hear about getting into the psyches. I trust you. Your vulnerability is your strength. And finally, he finished that little sequence with the new self-talk of, I love being seen. I love being heard. And you could see it was a key. I had him sing it, shout it, whisper it, write it down. People said it back. So it was echoed and reverberated in his muscle memory. So that's what the process, yes, Angeline, is. It's about going back to a moment when there was trauma, reproducing the traumatic event, not the whole event, but just the part where the breakdown took place. Then something like this. Someone can actually take a stand to it. Often traumatic memories are healed by doing something dramatic that's equal or greater than the force of the trauma. So I have people do this. I take this pain, like you're wallowing it up in one of your hands, like an open chalice. I take this ugly pain of pretending to be less than who I am. Do this with me, everybody. And I send it. I send it back to the source. Send it back to the source. I send it back to where it came. And the person make a clockwise circle as though you're a clock moving clockwise through town. All of this is metaphorical. I'm doing this with consciousness so that within us doing exercises, we're moving through zones, huge zones in their psyche. And then my new self-talk is whatever that happens to be. Sing it, shout it, whisper it, multi-sensorize it, and they take it away. So that's how I work with the trauma. We go back to the earlier incident, we redo it, we have a different ending, and we multi-sensorize the ending. You know, what can you remember looking back on these moments 2 months from now, 3 months from now, and go, wow. You know, one person who was very afraid, she was from New Zealand. I wanted to work with her when I was first bringing this work out to Australasia. It was 1990. And she said, I don't want to do this. I want to hide behind that curtain. So I said, okay, go ahead, hide behind that curtain. Next, who's next? She didn't like that. She didn't like that I took her turn over. She really wanted to turn. She said, wait a minute, how about me? 15 years later, I was in a movement dance workshop. And there was someone on the break who was talking about someone coming over to New Zealand and this silly exercise when she was hiding behind this curtain, afraid to come out. The guy said, "Oh, just go ahead, hide behind the curtain. We don't need you. We'll go on to the next person." She said, "Now I teach public speaking to women all around the world." I go, "Oh my God." We don't realize how we impact people.
Yeah. Yes. Wow. Can you imagine this in every school? It would be so powerful.
In a lot of schools.
I know too many that don't. That's why I'm saying yes. Yes. Yes.
The power of using creativity, ritual. I remember, because I had spent quite a bit of time in this life as a professional court jester, with a three-horned hat, the face paint, the harlequin outfit, doing
Oh my God, surprised.
Right here. Because I spent quite a bit of time in that character, it's never been a problem for me to turn into exaggeration, you know, the fierce, you know, and turn into something silly, but it has great profound movement when a person can suddenly go, oh, that's just my story. Oh yeah, well, let's act it out and see what's left. They get a chance to be seen. It's like, oh my God, I don't have that story anymore. I have a new story. Everybody's the same. We have this huge pilot flame burning, yearning to be seen. And until we deal with that trauma, as you mentioned, Angeline, it doesn't go anywhere. It's just putting Band-Aids on an open wound. So that's my approach. We want to get to the depth of the pain, but turn it around in a silly, maybe even ridiculous way. And then people are laughing while they're crying their guts out, and they can't go back to where they came. They cannot, once the light is shown.
Yeah. Yeah. It helps me associate why you said freedom, but I was also hearing healing. And so thank you for sharing how, you know, those couple of stories.
Well, that's what I find, is that by using story with ritual, with multi-sensorizing tools I've developed, then people tell the new story. And then there's homework. That's the most important part. Notice what's different. in your thinking, in your speaking, in your writing, if a person's a singer, in your singing, in your interacting, in your dreams, and then report to me. And often I do this online when I'm working with people online, and they go, "Oh, everything's different." But first, we have to come to that moment. It's generally one moment, and
Mhm.
then look at what changed. There was one time I was working with a man who has cerebral palsy, and he wanted to learn my method. I was doing body therapy with one of his friends in Melbourne, Australia, and he lived in LA. He wanted to learn my method. Oh my God. Okay, we'll do it. So he hired a massage therapist to drive in from Las Vegas a couple of hours to LA, and I showed them every stroke, every affirmation. And after a while, he was shaking, and he said, "You know what? Forget the bodywork part. Let's just have some one-on-one coaching online." So we got to a place where I said, "Look. Let's say you were to have a conversation between you and the cerebral palsy. I often do this with our hands because it's so easy on the one hand. On the other hand, if you were to speak to the cerebral palsy and give it a new job title, because you consider yourself to be a gimp, you can't do anything with your body, you have all these rainbow healing abilities, what would you say to the CP?" He said, just as though he had been rehearsing this forever. "CP, mm, I now give you the job title of creative perception, CP, creative perception." And that single moment changed everything. But he had to first find something that was more creative than what he had been pushing down, equal or greater force. And that changed everything. One single moment. Powerful stuff. Magical stuff.
So, Gary, how did you get into this work? Why didn't you just, I don't know, because we were joking about it a few times, why not just become a plumber? Why not? People keep talking about the Mario hat, and so I use plumbing as an example all the time. Why not just become a plumber
Mhm.
or something else?
I had such physical abilities. When I was young, I liked climbing to the top of the roof of the house where I was living and jumping off the roof and pretending I could fly. And when I started doing that with my life, like became a court jester, they sent my parents to be sent to the best schools, the best camps. We gave you everything. We poured money into you. And this is what we get back, our son, the court jester, Jewish parents. And I said, "I'm on a mission." "If you're on a mission, great. How's that going to pay the bills? You're on a mission." So I had such a passion and such a prowess with the physical body that as creativity came pouring out, and the court jesterhood was just a way to be able to tap into wisdom, creation myths, and my own deep archetypal understanding that was buried in the landscape of my own body. It wasn't until I was able to bring that out in service to others where I could help them free their sage and mage out of the cage, open a new page, a new stage, be quite the until they were able to see that they too, we were all buried in our own landscape. I was stuck too. So this was my path. I had to free. This is what passions me, what drives me. That sense that we are all underneath all of the trying to be like everyone else, trying to be accepted. We have this huge gift of uniqueness, and me, I just never, ever. I couldn't do it. I couldn't fit in. I had to carve my own path. Um, my dad said something to me that was very touching just a couple of years before he passed. He said, "Gary, I just not agreed with your life choices, going to be a court jester, a clown, when we thought you'd be a doctor or something that we could feel respected, And but I have to say, you know, your sister, she's done all the right things. She's got her own real estate company. But you, Gary, I don't agree with your path. I never agreed with your path, but I see you're helping a lot of people. You're helping people, and I see you're really fulfilled in your soul." I went, "Oh my God." That made up for all the years of you don't fit in. I don't fit in, and I prefer living on the edge. It's where I feel most at home. Not trying to fit in, but I will be a way shower to others who are stuck in their boxes. That's who I've become, a way shower through the unknown.
Okay.
Yes.
To make a joke about the stuck in the boxes, usually, the speaking box is this big and you're not supposed to go outside it. I'm outside it all the time. That's what I like to play.
Yes, and I appreciate that, Dr. Gary, because that's what they told me in grad school. You don't fit. And I said, you're right. I don't. And it's okay. I'm not trying to go along to get along. I'm not trying to be the status quo. I'm not born to be that. And I'm not going to be that. So, and then when I did the research, I found that's what fit means in education. You go along to get along. You become part of the status quo. And so there is no freedom in doing that, right? There is no inclusion because you're really not including everyone in your space. So thank you. Yes.
It's so true. It has been said that a ship that is hauled up and connected with chains to the shore is not serving its purpose. Its purpose is to go into the unknown, and that's the only way that new worlds can be discovered. To me, because I've been doing this so much, these huge leaps, 10,000 miles sometimes at a time, shifting never my identity, but sometimes I would be using different nicknames, and I've been doing what I've been doing for over 50 years. What's not changed is the depth of seeing myself as an archaeologist to the soul, to free people's physical tension, and then underneath that, the emotional self-talk, holding these attitudes in place. It's only when those two layers are unraveled, physical, emotional, can the creative layers come bursting through. But it's definitely a sequential process. We have to get underneath the crusty, held onto layers that we're all holding onto, and suddenly that gifts of dancing or singing or speaking, whatever each one of us has, is already there. What Michelangelo said. I saw the angel already in that marble, and I chiseled everything else away. I set the angel free. What a wonderful way to see life.
Absolutely. The constant digging. Absolutely. Digging our way to freedom. That's what you're helping us do.
Finding the freedom that's already within. That's right. That's right.
Yes.
I'm trying to remember the exact words that you used. Well, first off, I was loving the archaeologist of the soul.
I could see you writing it down. I could feel it. I knew it. That's in my book, and this is my book. Get Up, Stand Up, my self-published. It's also on Amazon and Audible. And in the back cover, that's what it says. As an archaeologist of the soul, someone came up with those words for me, and it's a beautiful description of the layers: physical, emotional, creative. These are the chapters that show people how we can all amplify our message by transforming our relationship between us and our body, our partnerships, our communication, our creativity, and our contribution to humanity. I've been dedicated to this for years. And yeah, so this is the audio and ebook and the physical book. Get Up, Stand Up for Your Life. Me leaping off a cliff there for the first time.
Is that you in the photo jumping off the rock?
It is, yeah, three of me. Someone did a really cool video shot, and he broke them up into separate little shots and made it into one picture. That's including the splash at the end of the dive.
I don't know if I'll be that brave to jump off a rock.
I dove. I didn't just jump. I dove the way. It was probably the best dive I've ever done. I had no idea. We were looking for a photo for the front of my book. I had no idea that was going to be the photo, and I just did it to do it, just to do it. It had its own gift in fully expressing itself. Yeah.
Oh, that was beautiful. So what perfect timing too, Dr. Gary, as this is the time that I want to ask you, where do we find you, and what is your favorite way to communicate?
You can find me, and you're going to have these in the show notes later, I believe, as well. I'll send them to you just to be sure that people have them for later. But for now, I'll make it easy on you. You see down below where it says The Presentation Doctor? Okay, we'll change the wording to mypresentationdoctor.com. That's my website. It's got some great videos, wonderful teachings, all for free. You can also have a complimentary 20 minutes with me by going to tidycal.com/Dr. Gary Wohlman. I'll send you the link for that. That's probably the best way to reach me. I'm also available on WhatsApp, but I prefer Zooming so we can have a recording of, oh my God, did I really break through and I can't go back to being shy and meek like I was before? That's right. So I prefer Zooming when I can. Also by WhatsApp, and I'll give you that information. I'll send it to you afterwards, Laura, so others can see it who are looking at this later. Those are the best ways. My website, also my YouTube channel is very powerful and shows all of these breakthrough moments. It's a bit of performance art as well. And I'll send these to you so people can have access to the exact links, the correct links. I'm easy to reach. Come to the top of the mountain, 550 meters above sea level, 3 hours from the nearest town, 2 hours south of Brisbane, Australia. That's where you're reaching me here.
And I just asked, what is the name of your YouTube channel? Because there are people that are online watching now who may want that information.
Yeah, okay. So to be able to get onto my YouTube channel, what you need to do is, I'm just going to find the exact correct link for you because there's a number in there that's important. And it is, if you put in the words, mastering presentation skills, and add to that, I don't know it by heart. There we go. Yeah, mastering presentation skill, singular, 4125. That will do it. I can put that in this chat too, but I don't know how to get into the chat. So mastering presentation skill. Oh, I can do it this way. Here we go.
There you go. I'll put it in the chat.
Are you doing it? For everyone to see, yeah. I just found it as well. Actually, are people able to see this part of the chat if I put anything there or no?
In the comment section, yes, but not in the private chat.
Where's comments? I don't know.
Over on that part.
I found it.
Yeah. I did put the YouTube link in there because I did find it.
Okay, I did.
Yeah.
So I can just put it in?
I already put it in.
Oh, you put it in.
Yeah, I got
it. Great. And then there's the website and the...
I did not put all of that in, no.
Now or later for everybody?
I don't usually put any of it in, but you can always put it in the comment section because you're going to get the video for yourself afterwards anyway. And who knows where that's going to be. So you'll put your own information on it wherever it goes at. Yeah.
This is too complicated for me to know what to do right now.
That's
I don't
okay.
see them. Yeah. Anyway, thank you for all the insightful questions. It's great. I always am curious what I like to ask at the end of these shows. Are we still on? Yeah, we are. Is what have you appreciated about this time?
We usually save that for after the main portion of the
more late. There's more to talk
so we
about.
We will get there. But we have about 30 seconds left of the main portion. And I want to make sure that's clipped for you. So if you could leave people with something, what would you love to leave them with?
I would love to leave people with the message of trusting, leaping into the unknown, but not just any unknown. The unknown, if you're thinking between, do this with me with your hands, on the one hand this, on the other hand that, two different life choices. Feel when you, don't write it down, just feel when you talk about it. Notice which hand feels lighter, which one feels more animated, which one feels more lithe and supple. And you'll notice that's the right answer. You don't have to find it by analyzing in your head. Your hand, I gotta hand it to you, already knows. So when your energy goes up, the first question you ask me, what are you? So I'd say, I'm inspiring, I'm playful, I'm transformational. What for you lifts your spirits, empowers your every gesture, and gives you a feeling of clarity and fluidity with every thought, word, and action? That's the answer. So trust moving into the unknown when it augments your energy. That's when you know you're making the right choice.
Oh, I love it. So I will call this the official close to the main portion of the interview. Thank you so much, Dr. Gary.
It's a pleasure.
Now,
Thank you.
now I invite you to stick around for the next, we have about 4 minutes
Oh,
to do a little bit of play and question. You have a question for us, so we can start with that. What was the question? Can you repeat the question that you had for us? Dr. Gary?
I don't know what question you're talking about.
Oh, I think you were asking about feedback from us about the interview.
Oh, I asked a question a while ago. I thought you didn't want to answer that. Oh, yeah.
Now's the time. Yeah.
I was saying, because you do so many of these, I'm always curious, because I know how colorful a character and deeply playful, penetrating I can be, how this was for both of you, because you see so many people, not better or worse. I'm not looking for ego stroking, but just unique. What stood out for you in this that was unique?
I really like that you're just as playful as me. Like I'm very much described as the person who feels like a 6-year-old who's being an adult and running a show, and I bring that energy. And it was nice to have somebody who brought that same energy as me.
Yes.
Yeah, because it's very rare. So I appreciated it.
Thank you. No, that's very good to hear. My playfulness, my poem, my song, I am all that. And it's taken me decades to accept that the world needs that lightness and that grace and that playfulness, not just the heaviness that we're so used to. So that's very validating for me. Thank you, Laura. How about you, Angie?
Absolutely. I enjoyed everything. I especially that whole multi-censoring. And again, it was so timing for me because, like I said, I just was watching around trauma, and I'm working with a couple of, not so much working with, but I just heard stories about a couple of children who are carrying some deep trauma, and they're, like 8, 9, 10. And how do you use other forms besides just medicine, right?
Yeah.
And so for me, hearing you and watching you, it brought me back to both of those young people and what could be done as something else. Like, I'm going to take this and share this with their families, because I want them to see, maybe there's something else that you can try that you may not have ever heard of before. You may not have ever seen before. And when I think about the 8 or 9-year-old child and how they are playful, right? They are silly. And so this might be something fun for them to explore in the midst of becoming healed and set free. Yes.
Well, if you wanted to go further with this, because I do have a whole stack of about 30 puppets, I didn't pull them out tonight. I would love to explore puppets, doing something with puppets and play. Because to me, puppets are as easy as putting up the hand. I want to talk. Wait till your turn. Wait till your turn. But I want to talk. I'm talking now. And it's so easy for me to do puppets. I'd love to do something with you involving children. Reach out to me.
I wrote down your my presentation doctor.com because when you said somebody can have a consultation with you, that was the first thing I said. You know what, I'm going to allow especially one parent in particular is coming to mind. She was just at my house the other day, and the things that she shared that that the young man is dealing with, I was just like, and he's in that playful, silly age, right? And so I just think this might be a way of a breakthrough for him. So yes, I thank you.
Welcome. Let me ask you too, Laura, I want to have
20 seconds.
I want to have people have the tidycal.com so they can have a complimentary time with me, and also the YouTube and the website. How do I get that to you?
You can go on any of these feeds on social media. I put the link in the email that I gave you, as well as in the Amplify Your Message group. And you can put it there.
Okay.
Okay, we've run out of time. Thank you so much, Dr. Gary. I appreciate you being here and being so playful. At 1 o'clock in the morning, your time. So 2 o'clock now. Much appreciated.
Yes, thank you, thank you, thank you for the work you do.
Yeah.
It's worship. It's wonderful. It's wonder filled.
Sleep well, Dr. Gary.
Bless you. Thank you both so much.
Yes.